Get just something abrasive just to clean up where the pads run. The sitters on there and there and there and there. Very straightforward indeed. Just make sure the brake pads fits in nicely. And they do, of course. I'll just show you the difference between the two. A warm brake pad and a not warm brake pad. Obviously you can see why they've been changed. I guess there's probably about another 1,000 miles left on that one, whereas these have actually done, the vehicle's recorded 30,000 miles now. So what we do then is just put a very, very small amount of copper grease just on the running edges. It's traditional for mechanics to actually plaster the brake pads fully with this all over. It's not necessary because it's only that bit that's running on it there, that bit's running on there, so just do that. If you put too much on, it attracts dirt and causes a maintenance problem later on. Sits in there nicely. With this vehicle, all four brake pads the same. On some vehicles, they may have two that are the outer and two are the inner, because they have brake sensors or other issues. But these are actually all identical, so they're sitting nicely in there. Just put it nicely like that. Smear a little bit around there. You can see a little bit of rust just starting to form there. Nothing to worry about at all. Make sure the surfaces are clean, and they are. There's nothing wrong with that. Very carefully bring that back round. Push it back into there like that, like so. The thing is that you've got to worry here because it tends to catch. These are slightly spring loaded, these locators, so just push it back like that. Put the top one in, just put it in loose. I need to tighten it up. Make sure these springs sit on the inside, like so. Just tighten up a little bit more. And then push the bottom one's already, it's not quite as springy as the top one, that's not a problem. Get the other one. Push it in. As you can see, you can just push it by hand. Anything more than hand force, you've got something wrong. Just tighten it up like that nicely. That's a lovely job. Just tighten them up there like that. Like that. I'm not going to tell you how tight to do this. I'm going to let you look that up on the web or in the owner's manual to find the actual torque setting for that torque nut into there and that torque nut into there. Once you finish one side of the brake pads, just generally it's good to check the level of your brake fluid. Lucky again, this one hasn't overflowed, hasn't come anywhere near it, so we don't need to worry about this at all until we're done the next side. So that's all good. Right, on the near side is exactly the same as the off side. As I said before, just take 2 bolts out, take them off, 12mm heads. Just like one thing I didn't show you on this side, if it's a little bit tight, and sometimes they are, just get a screwdriver and just lever it out nicely like that, and it comes out. Again, don't let it hang on the brake hose, just rest it nicely on top so there's no tension on there at all. Just a note to when you're changing both sets of brake pads on either side. Again, obviously this is worn and it is consistent with the other side. If these brake pads on this side were not worn, but on the other side were worn out, it would indicate that the brake caliper is seized or is a problem on a braking system. So again, just a visual check, yeah, same amount as wear as on the other side. Again, everything is perfect. Right, this is the near side all finished now. Make sure those clips are inside there. Bolts are torqued up to manufacturer's specification. But while you're under it, it's a good idea to have a little look round, make sure everything's okay. Make sure there's no leaking from the shock absorbers. Again, this one's fine. Make sure the hoses are not frayed or split. Make sure the brake pipe's not excessively corroded. As you can see, this is perfectly good. Make sure there's no chafe in there. And also the important CV boot, perfect condition. Everything's good to go. Now both brake pads, 4 brake pads will be fitting both sides of the vehicle. The most important thing to do, which is just a general thing, is called pump up the pedal. It's literally, it will go all the way down to the floor, don't be concerned about that, until it builds the pressure back up in the system. And as you can see now, the pedal's back to where it goes. Just a couple of safety precautions for you. I always fit this sticker to the steering wheel. Extra time in braking. This allows the brake pads to what's called bed in. So just stick that on the steering wheel. If it's your vehicle, just a polite reminder. Or if it's a customer's vehicle or someone you're doing for a friend, just so that they know that they're going to have to allow extra time. Why do you need extra time? When a brake pad is new and a brake disc is new, everything is straight. So it's a nice even match when they come together. On a worn disc, this is an accelerated view of a worn out disc, and you can see the brake pad is brand new and straight. The bedding in process is when the brake pad meets the same contour as a brake disc, and that's called a bedding in period. Can take 100 miles, can take 200 miles. It just depends on how worn the brake discs and the makeup of the brake pad. This is last stage now, is just to check your brake level reserve. As you know, we've pumped the brake level up so the master cylinder is back to its normal condition. This looks like it possibly needs a brake fluid change. You can see by the colour of it, it's slightly dark inside there. But that's for another day and another video. I can show you do that at a later time. Make sure everything is nice and clean, doesn't flowed, hasn't gone into the environment, everything is good. So we know that's okay until we do the brake fluid change. Just put the cap back on. Thank you for looking at my video. If you need the tools for this job, they're available at tool-supplier.com. Thank you very much for looking.